Welcome back to the Delaware Way. The TransPerfect breakup. It is something that could make National Enquirer headlines. It is also a story that could make Wall Street Journal headlines because it has a little bit of both. And in the middle are employees trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Chris Coffey is a spokesman for Citizens for a Pro-Business Delaware, and Miranda Wessinger is president of Citizens for a Pro-Business Delaware. Just so I can make sure of who I'm talking to, what is Pro-Business Delaware?
Citizens for Pro-Business Delaware was formed about 5 months ago to save the company of TransPerfect, which has been forced into a sale by a judge here in Delaware. We have 4,000 employees, we have 2,500 members, and we're trying to work with the legislature now to save the company and create a solution that allows these folks to keep their jobs.
And there's no hidden forces funding you, and there's nothing we should know about behind the scenes?
No.
We're funded by some serious folks at the company who want to save their jobs. These are people who've been here 15 years, 20 years, who have 2 kids in college or a kid in college, and they've banded together to pool their resources to allow us to try to save the company.
Okay. I just wanted to do the due diligence right in the beginning. Explain the story. It is a fascinating story, and it is the stuff of tabloids, and it would be the stuff of tabloids if it didn't have such serious consequences.
No, and it does. So I guess it's been a few years now where Phil Shaw and Liz Elting, who are the co-CEOs of TransPerfect, they basically decided that they could no longer see eye to eye, if you will, with the company.
But they had a relationship, right?
Years ago.
Okay.
And I think that is probably what has made this a tabloid story, is this focus on their relationship that happened years ago. But the part of that tabloid story is that they also ran a successful company after that for over 20 years. So if that was the main point of contention, you would think that this situation would come up 15 years ago versus 20 years after they grew this company from literally being in their dorm room to now a $500 million company. We're not talking about a little mom and pop shop at this point. We're talking about a $500 million company.
What does TransPerfect do?
They're a translation and globalization company, so they do translations of, think about your websites, or when I worked at TransPerfect, I always told people, think about when you have like a hair dryer or any kind of appliance, you open it up and you see 12 different pages of translations in there. TransPerfect does anything from that to global clinical trials, helping companies take their drugs literally across the world for other people.
Because everybody has different laws and regulations.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go and let you pick up the rest of the story so we can split this up a little bit.
They founded the company in their dorm room. 20 years, worked on a really successful company, $500 million in revenue a year, 4,000 employees in 90 countries. One of the founders took a leave of absence for a while. I think when she came back, she decided that she wasn't happy with the circumstance of the company, and she took a case to New York to get a judge to rule to force the sale of the company. The New York judge took a look at it and threw it out and said, this is for 2 people to figure out. This is not for a court to figure out. I don't think she was happy with the outcome, what I've read, and she came to Delaware where TransPerfect Incorporated.
And just about every other company is.
And just about every other, which is an important part of Delaware. And the judge, with no witnesses and no evidence, but the judge did agree with her and forced the sale of the company. At that point, that's when we formed. The employees who were not given a voice in that courtroom, we tried to enter an amicus brief. The judge didn't look at it, but now we formed 5 months ago to say whether the legislature could help us here. We think that there's a solution. Anytime, the law that the judge cites was created for when a company is in financial straits and a company is going under, or someone's hand is in the cookie jar. This is a case where the company has more customers than ever, more profits than ever, more employees than ever, and has never done better than it's done now.
So your point is it's a successful company. If it's working, don't sell the company, just get rid of the leadership if the leadership can't get it wrong and they're not working. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think there's a way to work this out. We've asked both founders to come work it out. There's a bunch of different solutions. The legislature right now is looking at a 3-year cooling off period before you could force the sale of a company.
These employees are all in New York, right? I mean, no?
They're all over the world. I mean, the people that we have as our backers, you're talking people all over the world. We have people in Hong Kong, in London, in Barcelona, in Atlanta, Georgia, in San Francisco, in New York.
In Delaware?
We have a few in Delaware. There are 3,000 in the United States. We're in 92 different offices. And these are folks, we're headed into Thanksgiving, we're heading into Christmas. These are folks with kids in college, kids with bills to pay who've been there for 20 years or more, really good middle-class jobs that are now on the line. And we're going to take some of these folks and we're going to come up to Delaware and we're going to go talk. We've been talking to legislators for the last few months to make our case.
Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be watching and come back.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks. Chris Coffey, spokesman for Citizens for a Pro-Business Delaware, and Miranda Wessinger, president of Citizens for a Pro-Business Delaware. When we come back, a real important organization that offers loans, offers bank accounts to the underprivileged, when the Delaware Way continues.